So in the 1.9 update, I lost the mic. I think we make a cut here and then...
Cut! Hello everyone, welcome to the third episode of the RENNSPORT Radio Check. As always, I'm joined by Mr. Kim.
Hello.
Hello. And Mr. Morris as well.
Hello.
First of all, we want to say a big thank you to all of you for testing that much during the closed beta. We got a lot of very valuable feedback from you guys that helped us, especially the devs, really develop the product to what it is right now. So much so that we are now finally, Morris, ready for the next big step.
So yeah, after more than 12 months closed beta, a very, very long wait list, a lot of people really still waiting for access. We now decide really to go on open beta by the 10th of July, and we all in the team are super happy and super excited really to now do the next step in this direction.
Now, Kim, what does the open beta mean for RENNSPORT?
The launch on July 10th means that everything that we have in the beta right now, all the cars and all the tracks will be available for everybody. You just go to the Epic Games Store, press download, and you're basically good to go.
Morris, there's a community question for you. When will it come out on Steam? Will it also come out on other platforms later on?
Yeah, definitely. Other platforms are in the pipeline. They are planned. There are no fixed dates, I would say, and for sure, Steam, the game will definitely be available on Steam at a certain point.
Steam is super important to us, right? Like we really care about the Steam crowd and the people on Steam, so it's something we're actively working towards.
Now, the first big point on my list, Kim.
Yes.
Is called the Founders Pack.
Yes, so with the open beta release on July 10th, we're also introducing something we call the Founders Packs, which is our first step into actually bringing this beta product into something more substantial.
Yeah, so what we really try to do is bringing some really special new content in this Founders Pack. There's a special car maybe we can introduce later, and there's a really super famous racetrack we all love here, and we tested it like hell. So it's really great to have this racetrack in the Founders Pack. We will announce later. And it's also definitely the first step for us really to test our monetization integration into our overall system. And it is the first time for RENNSPORT where we really give something to our community where they can support us. So it is Founders Pack in 3 different levels. So we will explain it a bit, and this is the way really to introduce or bring something special to the community.
So if you can name the track, I can name the car.
Let me think about what was the track. No, definitely the track will be Nürburgring Nordschleife, which is one of the greatest racetracks in the world, I would say.
Probably the greatest.
On top of this racetrack, or with this racetrack, we will bring.
Let me get this right now. It's the Porsche 911 GT3R RENNSPORT.
Yes, the perfect name for a car.
This is definitely and that makes us super proud. We are the first game which really has this car available, and this is super cool.
Yeah, so we're launching the Founders Packs in 3 different packages or tiers. It's called the Gold, the Platinum, and the Diamond. And what you get in them is a bit different between the different tiers, and they're obviously priced at different levels. The Nordschleife is included in all of them, so however you decide to support the project with the Founders Pack, you get access to the Nordschleife. The Platinum tier and the Diamond tier has the car, the Porsche RENNSPORT car in it. And there are some other things in those packs as well. It's some cool looking liveries, some badges that you can show to people that you are a supporter of the project, and some cool stuff.
I don't know if we can talk about, there is a new way to create liveries and to show liveries, and this is really new, and it's just fantastic to have that.
Yeah, so we created this whole new tech system into our livery system where we can really put dynamic patterns and animations on top of the car liveries, and it looks flat out amazing. The first time we saw like the concept from the tech artist, we were all just blown away, like with the possibilities that we can create. We can make liveries react to your speed or your telemetry data, or do all kinds of crazy stuff, and that's included in the Founders Pack as a first step or first iteration of this. We'll have it in the Founders Pack, and then we have lots and lots of crazy ideas of what to do with these liveries in the future as well.
Now, if I buy this content pack, the Founders Pack, will I be able to have access to the content pieces inside of this Founders Pack on other platforms as well later on?
Yeah, so like we said, we're launching the open beta and the Founders Packs on the Epic Game Store. And whatever you acquire to your account on the Epic Game Store, you can bring with you to whatever platform we bring RENNSPORT to in the future.
One last point on the Founders Pack is related to certain names. We haven't touched on this yet.
We're designing right now a track that we call the Founders Track, which is a racetrack built out of the RENNSPORT R. And what we have here is a really cool system for everyone who buys a Founders Pack or becomes a founder of the project will also get their name forever imprinted on different areas of this racetrack.
This racetrack is based on an island, and it's more it comes more from a project of our art team, and they at a certain point they start building something and making this crazy racetrack looking like an R from far away.
Yeah.
And then we decide, hey, that's really a cool thing. And as Kim said, we will have all the names of all the Founder Pack owners on these racetracks. So you can go there forever in 10 years and you will always see your name on this racetrack.
And the Crazy Island, the Founders Track, is available to everyone. It's a free track that anyone can drive. And the upside for anyone who purchases the Founders Pack is obviously that you get to have your name on that racetrack forever implemented.
Now, the first thing for the 1.9 features are the GT4 cars. I think we can split this up, right? Let's have you pronounce the BMW.
Yeah, so it's the BMW M4 GT4 G82. It's the 2024 edition of the GT4 car, I think.
I have the Audi R8 LMS GT4.
Now, we are also bringing some other things, Kim, like an account level, for example.
Right, so one of the biggest, I think when we did the roadmap earlier this year, we named this quarterly update the progression update. And we talked about it a bit, but now we're ready to really show it and let people experience it. And what we're bringing into this 1.9 update is 2 different ways of progressing your RENNSPORT career, let's say. So one part of that is the account level, like your own sort of like driving level. And this is a XP-based system, which a lot of people are familiar with who's in the gaming space in general, where basically it means that the more time you spend driving and engaging with different types of content, like online races and time trials and stuff like that, you're making constant progression on your account level. So that's a nice way of rewarding you with the feeling that you actually get something for spending your time. In the future, we will add reward tiers to these as well, so that there is actually stuff to actually go after. But the second part of this progression update is the completely revamped ranking systems. So in the closed beta right now, we have the RENNSPORT rating and we have the safety rating, which is basically based on an ELO system, which tells the system how good you are and tries to match you with other people of your similar skill, right? We're keeping the same calculations, we keep the same ELO principle in the background, but we made the experience of actually ranking a bit more engaging and went with a ranking system that is basically, that goes from bronze to master, is what we call it, and there's different tiers along the way. So it's super easy for you to recognize as a player the other players you drive against.
Along with this, we are also increasing the amount of tracks that we have that offer nighttime.
Yeah, so one step we did earlier this year to really bring some more variety into racetracks was to add a day-night system to a couple of tracks. We're constantly adding to this list of tracks that support this, and for the 1.9 update we have Daytona and Monza to support day and night shifting cycles.
Let's interject another community question, which also has to do with the 1.9 update. Kim, can RENNSPORT be played with a controller?
If you tried it in the beta right now, you know it's possible. You also know it's very difficult.
Yes.
And actually in the 1.9 update, we have overlooked the whole controller input system and made several changes to how it works underneath the systems and added a couple of things to make the life of a controller user way easier. I think our physics guy actually managed to almost match the time on Spa with a controller that he does in his sim rig. So I think we've gotten it to a very good level now. There is more work to be done with this. We're gonna make it even better. But if you tried to drive a controller now and you try it again after July 10th, you're gonna experience a very significant change in how it works.
It's gonna be a lot more fun. Now, another very significant change that has been requested, another community question, VR when?
Also for the 1.9 update, on July 10th, we have native support for VR in RENNSPORT.
Needs to be said that this is the first version, so it's heavily reliant on your feedback.
I mean, everything we do now we consider to be in beta, right? So
yes,
everything is to be looked upon in the beta glasses or whatever. So yes, VR works natively, thanks to the great support of the Unreal Engine in general. There is going to be more work to be done with VR, of course. And this is where we look to the community as well. We want as many VR players as possible to give us their feedback on what works, what doesn't work, and all of that stuff to really make it better and better.
There's more things to add, more stuff to improve, all with your feedback, of course. The next question is one we've heard quite a few times before. Triple support, when?
Yeah, so like I said, we made the decision that we want to do VR. VR has been very important for us this whole year. VR is going to be the focus for us to really get it in a, I would say, genre-leading way. Like, we want to do VR perfectly. So that's the focus right now.
Morris, you have been quiet for a bit. It's your time to talk. You already talked about the last radio check we did. The friend system is finally coming now.
Yeah, we are now really able and at the stage where we could bring more and more features into the app world. So that means you can follow your friends, you can interact, so you can see what is your friend doing. So the app will show you your friend is online, that your friend is in this and that session. So you exactly could see what happened. And this is the bronze status of friendship, I would say. And we are really happy to do this next step with the app as well, because it's definitely a thing which is always coming from my heart. So when it comes to the app, and it's great to see more and more features coming when it comes to the overall social stuff and things we are planning to have there.
And it's the first step of also having, like, if you have your friends racing something that maybe you can join, maybe there is the option to spot the race for them or to engage with it in other ways, right? So this is the implementation to really get the friend system working, and then we can just expand it from here.
And it needs to be said, it's not only in the app, but also
it's also in the game,
right?
yes.
Sorry,
it is also in the game.
Forgot to say, yeah.
I know Morris loves the app. You should see the notes he sets when we are preparing for those sessions. There's always like, hey, can we have another thing about the app, please?
Yeah, you all forgot something, the app sometimes. So we're always talking about the game, the platform, and then I always have to say, hey, we have the app as well.
Yep. Maybe we have like a QR code in one of the corners of whatever the screen is.
Yeah, maybe there's a QR code to download the app.
Probably.
Get that free GT3 car.
Exactly.
Free GT3 car, create an account, and being super ready for the 10th of July when the open beta starts.
And maybe send Morris a friend request.
Yeah, well, that would be great. To be honest, that would be great.
He's looking forward to it. You can tell. You can tell. Now, Morris, is RENNSPORT an esports only sim? We've talked about it before, but let's talk about it again.
We are super proud to be part of this sporting segment. But RENNSPORT is a gaming platform. It's for everyone. So every people really loving driving games, doing simulations, loving cars, racing with friends or alone. This is the audience why we are building that game, and that it's not esport only. It's a racing game. It's a racing platform.
I usually like what you say to this in general, that we went out there and show that you can make a high-level competition on a game that is not finished yet, while still making that game. And I think we showed that last year, and I think we keep showing that this year. But at least from our team, where we sit right now, our focus is to deliver a great game. Like that's the main focus that we have.
And as we said it several times before, so having these high-level sporting on the platform really helped a lot, really, to improve the game. We said we talked about several times, and it really helped us to come to the level where we are at the moment. But now, and open beta is the perfect moment for that. Now we scale it so that everyone can jump into the game. You do not have to have a sim rig. You can use it with other hardware as well. We will bring it on Steam at a certain point. So this is definitely really the moment where we open up the game, and hopefully a lot of people are joining. And this is also where hopefully our open sporting system will come to life, because it needs people really joining us, playing on the platform, being part of the overall system. And that's definitely not only the pinnacle where it comes to esport.
Now, Kim, with the next question. Mm-hmm. When will AI opponents be introduced?
This is an interesting one, because we actually do have, in our internal builds, we have AI opponents.
Opponents.
I think it's a stretch to call them opponents, but we have cars controlled by...
There are cars we are using for testing.
Yes, exactly. They drive on a racing sort of line, but as soon as you interact tire heat or you change something, they just go completely bananas. It's just a matter of figuring out how to do it correctly, how to make them good, and how we can make them add value to the experience. So eventually, yes.
Now, Kim, a couple of episodes ago, we talked about the McLarens.
Yes.
What's going on?
So we talked about the McLaren GT3 car and the McLaren GT4 car, and we have them in production. We've had them in production for a while, but things constantly shift around, and we need to make our production as efficient as possible based on what type of data we have available to us. And for the McLaren specifically, the CAD data that we got came in a bit late, so we had to switch them around a bit and make other cars available before the McLarens. But they're still in the production. We're still looking to bring them out later this year.
Can the devs talk a bit about how RENNSPORT will approach changing weather conditions during a short or long racing session? Example, dry to wet and cold or hot track temps.
Yeah, so our current timeline now is I think we're looking at maybe 20 years from now. We have a good weather system in.
9 years.
9 years, okay. Now, so what we did this year now is we started to make the day and night cycles. That means that we can alternate the temperatures on track, so we can adjust the temperatures on the tarmac that obviously reacts to tires. And so that's the first step for us into a weather system. So we have all the basics, the foundations being worked on. And like everything we do, when we do it, we want to do it right. So it's not going to take 9 years. It's going to be quicker.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully.
And now, actually, the last question on the list from the community, which ties into the focus feedback sessions we had. When will open setups be available?
So open setups is a fun topic, especially if you ask our physics guy that we talked about earlier.
Yes, he loves those.
So the plan is to have open setups sooner rather than later for everybody to, or at least to offer competitions where we have open setups, while also doing fixed setups, because some people like that as well. But what we want to do now is to, after the 1.9 update, we want to do another one of these focused feedback tests together with the community, where we will host contests where everybody is free to just change whatever they want on the car setup, with our expectation that it will just break everything, basically.
Exactly.
So we just want people to try the craziest stuff they can possibly do, and then we can figure out, all right, that works, that doesn't work, and we can build our complete open setup system based on that.
Anyways, that was the last question for today. Thank you guys for watching. It was an interesting evening for us. I hope it was an interesting radio check for you. Hopefully you learned a lot of new interesting stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the track, especially on the Nordschleife. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And any last words from you guys?
Open beta, Founders Pack 1.9 update, July 10th. Let's go.
Perfect.